Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy Orth. I'm the Executive Director of St. John's Riverkeeper. I'm here today just to give you an update on St. John's Riverkeeper, what we're doing through this crisis right now. And also, we want to give you an update on how you can still remain involved, and also how you can we can also help you get through these difficult times as well. First thing, I just want you to know that St. John's Riverkeeper is still on the job. We are actively working to continue to fulfill our mission. We're not going anywhere. We're going to continue advocating for your river through these difficult times. Obviously, it's been a big transition for all of us, as it has been for you, trying to figure out how do we become digital almost exclusively in our activities. Obviously, a lot of the things that we like to do, Riverkeeper, face-to-face events, face-to-face meetings with different elected officials and state agencies, and of course, obviously you, the public, engaging our volunteers. It's been a little bit more challenging trying to do that. So now we have to try to engage you digitally and provide you with information through different channels of communication. We're learning. So right now, actually, I'm learning how to use Facebook Live. I've never done a Facebook Live before, so bear with me. I'm going to figure this out as we go along. I'll also, as you put, you can obviously submit some questions. I'll try to talk and also read your questions as they come in. If I miss one, feel free to send us an email afterwards. You can send it to me at jimmy@stjohnsriverkeeper.org, or any of the other staff members. Go to our website, stjohnsriverkeeper.org, and you can find all of our contact information there. So it's easy for us to get in touch with us, and then we want to be responsive to you. So any questions you have about the river, about our work, how you can get involved, please let us know. Reach out to us. We want to hear from you. I'm going to talk to you in a little bit about, we want to see your photos and videos of the river. We want to hear about the places that you love and the things that you love about the St. John's River. First, let me just tell you, though, in terms of advocacy, as I mentioned, we're still hard at work. Making sure that we're giving the river a voice, that we're fulfilling our mission to be an advocate for your river. One thing, we're obviously continuing to monitor the health of the river, tracking several policy issues. I mean, the government has not shut down, so they are still moving forward with different policy issues, such as, for instance, they just actually withdrew legislation, regulations that would have put more regulations on biosolids. We weren't very happy with those regulations. They're kind of going back to the drawing board based on some legislation that was passed this legislative session to update those regulations. We'll keep you posted. So once we know more about that process, we'll let you know how you can get involved with that. I'm not going to get into too much detail about the biosolids issue, but just in real brief summary, that there is an issue where a lot of the biosolids, which is the byproduct from the sewage sludge, that's a byproduct from the wastewater treatment systems, they actually take a lot of the sewage sludge and they apply that to farms and to ranch lands. A lot of that's in the headwaters of the river. That's created a lot of pollution problems for the St. John's, and we've become one of the leading voices on that issue, trying to make sure that we're putting more controls on that, how it's used, and trying to limit its use in some of these in these type of applications, because it's really causing a serious pollution problem for the river. So we're going to stay on top of that. Also, the Central Florida Water Initiative, they just released their water supply plan, an updated plan, I should say. And so we're just now in the process of reviewing that plan, making sure that we feel like it has the necessary requirements for water conservation. The last time they released the plan, we were not pleased at all. We felt like they were not aggressive enough on water conservation, and they were looking more to alternatives such as the St. John's River. As you may know, there are plans in place, and there's been studies to take up to, I think it's 160 million was the last count, million gallons of water a day from the St. John's to be used as supplemental water sources, or as they call alternative water supply sources. And we feel like that will have significant health, that's a significant health risk to the river. So we have been really pushing over the years, this is going back a decade now, pushing really for more water conservation measures, which there's a lot of opportunities for us to save water. And I think that with more government leadership, we can do that. We're also, another thing that we're doing is we're still continuing with our lawsuit on the dredging. As you may know, We really do feel like the plan currently in place, and unfortunately dredging is happening as I'm talking right now, but the plan right now, there is literally no mitigation. They're buying some conservation land, which is not mitigation. It's basically protecting lands that are already in a natural state. It's not doing anything to offset the impacts of the river and then and then they're also going to do a lot of monitoring after the fact. Well, monitoring is not mitigation either. So we've been fighting hard to make sure that this project has been thoroughly evaluated and that there is adequate mitigation in place. We have a hearing for our lawsuit on May 5th. So assuming that that date does not get postponed, we will know hopefully not too long after that date. After we have this hearing, the judge will rule and we can get hopefully some relief for the river. You know, we'll keep you posted as that moves along. The other big issue right now is the Ocklawaha, freeing the Ocklawaha. We are working hard, as you know, to try to restore the health of the Ocklawaha by partially breaching the dam that has been in place for over 50 years. And it's caused significant damage to the Ocklawaha and also to Silver Springs, because Silver Springs is one of the primary sources of fresh water that feeds the Ocklawaha and then flows into the St. Johns. The Ocklawaha is the largest tributary of the St. Johns, one of the most important, and this would really provide some significant benefits, health benefits to the river, but it also would be, as we identified years ago, and a lot of federal agencies identified, that it is probably the best mitigation project to offset some of the impacts from the dredging, because it's upstream of where the project is located. It would provide a lot more fresh water back into the St. Johns and help to offset some of those impacts from increased salinity. So that's a project that we're moving forward. So look for some of the outreach we're doing around that with the Ocklawaha. There's a coalition that's been formed that really is robust. I should have checked this before I got on here today, see what the count is right now in terms of number of groups that are currently part of the coalition, but I know it's in excess of 30 organizations throughout the state. This really is a statewide issue. It's not a local issue. It's a statewide issue. It would have significant benefits for the river, and we really need to look at it as something like a Everglades type project restoration because of the significant benefits that would be provided. So what I would recommend is go to our website. We always try to provide timely updates. Also, if you're not getting our emails, I would encourage you to sign up, get our emails, become a member. This is, at this time when we're going through this critical time in the history of our country, it's nonprofits need your support more than ever. And so I would encourage you, become a member, whatever you can give. I know right now a lot of people, this is not financially, this is a really difficult time for so many of you out there, but if you're able to, we would love to have your support and have you as a member. But go to our website. Anybody can access it, obviously, and you can sign up for our emails. You don't have to be a member, and we can get you at least getting information about the river, and maybe at some point when you are financially able to contribute and support us, you can do so at that time. We want you to be engaged. The thing about this organization and this movement to protect the St. Johns is it is a team effort. We staff alone can't do it. It requires a constituency of advocates for the river. And so we need you. We need the public engaged in trying to protect the river. Also, I want you to give you an update too with our education programs. That was a huge transition that they had to make, the education staff. They actually had to go from, one of the things we really like to do is provide experiential learning opportunities. So we put a big emphasis on field trips, getting kids out to experience the river. We also do in-class programming as well. This has been a difficult time to try to transition all of those programs to a digital format. But the good news is that we've been contacted by the Duval County school system they're seeking our help with developing some marine science curriculum for the new Duval homeroom program, where they're in the virtual learning that they're doing now currently with students, so that we see that there's opportunity there for us to continue to provide resources. Also, our education team has done a great job of putting resources on our website, so you can go there and learn more about what types of resources, if you're a parent or you're a teacher, resources that can help you educate your children or your students about the St. Johns, because it's critical that kids grow up learning, knowing about this body of water, and understanding why it's so important to our quality of life and our economy. The other thing too is that I understand, you know, a lot of us are distracted, distraught even over what's happening right now in our local community and throughout the world. So we understand that, you know, you may not be ready to hear some bad news about the river in terms of threats and impacts to its health, and you may not be ready to engage on some of those issues yet. When you are ready, we're going to be here for you. We're going to give you the tools and the way that you can engage. If you are currently ready, you want to take some action, go to our website, learn how, reach out to us individually. But one thing that we've realized in our team talking to each other is that the river really is, I think, an opportunity. It can be a healing force for our community. Nature in general and our river can really be a salve for our soul. And I think it can help us get through this crisis. I know that when I'm outside like I am right now, it makes me feel better. And actually, you know, interesting, there's a lot of scientific research that validates that nature has incredible therapeutic benefits for us, health benefits that have been validated by science. So we know that connecting with the natural world is good for us. And I think that this is going to help us through this crisis as well. So one of the things we're going to do is, you may not be able to get out and experience the river right now, but we are going to try to bring the river to you. So we just sent an email out to our members. Many of you watching may be members, and we sent out an email yesterday with a video. We're going to continue to send out photos and videos to help connect you virtually to the river. Also, I think what we want you to do is, we want you to send photos to us, connect with us on social media, share your videos, your photos with us, of photos that maybe you've taken before of the river, or videos, or also just step out in your backyard. If there's some, you know, a beautiful plant or some insect or something like that, send those to us as well, because there is nature all around us, and we need to connect with it where we can right now. You're out on a walk trying to get some fresh air and you see something really interesting, send us a picture, send a photo. Let's share these photos and use this right now. Use the river, use the natural world around us as a way to help us cope with this, help us get through this, help us heal us. And I think it can. And so we have a hashtag right now. It's Hey SJRK, look at this. So if you just tag your photos with Hey SJRK, look at this, and then we can share those out with everybody else, and we'll know that you're out there trying to connect with nature and want to share it with others as well. So with that, if there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. I'm not seeing any up here on the screen right now, but what I would say is please reach out to us. Let's not forget about the St. John's. I think it's going to be, we're going to find right now, it may be more, it's going to be really important to us getting through this, but it's also, I think, going to be even more important to us when we get through the other side of this. And we need to reconnect with the river. We need to get outside, and we need to help us to get through this and re-nourish our souls by getting out on the St. John's or getting around it and enjoying its beauty. It really can help us through this. And I think also things like the river. When I took this job 16 years ago, it was interesting. One of the things that I was most excited about it, one was that I had grown up around the river. So what a fantastic opportunity for me to get to help protect something that I love and I grew up knowing and enjoying. But the other thing was I really see the river as a galvanizing force for our community. It's something that, regardless of political ideology, and we see it in our own organization, there's a lot of differences of opinion politically, but everybody that's a member of Riverkeeper and so many people out in the community recognize how important the river is to us individually and to our community, and it can really bring us together. I really truly believe that. So let's try to, you know, I know it's difficult sometimes to focus on things outside of our immediate health and the impacts that we may be feeling from the coronavirus right now. But let's not forget about the river, because it's there for us now, and it will be there for us when we get through to the other side. thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. And we're going to try to do these every Tuesday. It may not it's not going to be with me each week. We're going to have possibly even different topics. We'll get our advocacy staff on here one week to give you an update on some key river issues. We may have our education staff come on and talk about some river issues. We've even talked about there's an interactive feature with Facebook Live that you can do polling and you can do trivia and things like that. So we may have some fun with this as well, because I think that's one of the things right now is I think all of us need a distraction in some ways from what's happening around us. It's I know if you get on your Twitter feed or your Facebook, it can be quite depressing, the news. And I think we all are going to have to join together, find ways to build community remotely, even if we can't come together physically, and to support each other and to find ways to get through this together. Because just as it's going to take it takes a village to protect a river, it's going to take all of us to come together to get through this and make sure that that we protect our river, but that we also can hopefully get our economy and get our society back up and running soon. So thank you for tuning in, and we appreciate your support for St. John's Riverkeeper.